What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I bring you some of the best NFL draft prospects. This guy's a home run hitter, man. I cannot wait to introduce him to you guys. He is a reincarnation of Isaiah Pacheco. This guy runs like his elbows are on fire. And, some people say, hey, I'd run through a wall for that guy. Well, this guy runs like he's running through a wall all the time. I want to go over some of his accolades. He's a second team All American, okay, first team All MVFC, second team All MVFC in 2023. I mean, this guy, honorable mention All MVFC, team captain in 2023. And last year, y'all, he had 19 touchdowns on the ground, 2 receiving. So that's 21 touchdowns in one season, okay? That's usually like a third of what some football teams have total in offense. This guy can literally put the team on his back, and any NFL team that takes and snags him in the draft, they're getting not a draft dem, but a draft diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, at a University of South Dakota, I want to take and introduce Travis Theis. Travis, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. That's some serious hype right there, but appreciate it. I'm
Oh
happy to be
man,
on.
anytime, brother, anytime. Hey, no hype at all, man. You're the real deal, dude. So blessed to have you on. I know you got a lot on your schedule and on your calendar, so thank you for coming to hang out with me and the folks at Touchdown Nation, man. I appreciate you, man.
Of course.
Yes, sir. Dude, take us from the beginning. Where are you from originally, and when did you first fall in love with the game of football?
I'm from southern Kansas. It's a small town. It's called Pratt. It's about 70 miles west of Wichita, about 7,000 people. I started playing football in third grade, tackle football. I know that's not very common these days, but I still remember those days playing with my best friends from third grade all the way to high school, senior year, and then making new best friends in college too. So been playing for a long time, and my love for the game just keeps growing. So
I love it, man. I love it. Did you always play running back, or?
yeah, I have been a running back since third grade. So I played defense too my whole life until college, obviously. But yeah, I've always been a running back, ball carrier.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. Who are some players that growing up you really looked up to as far as running backs go?
I mean, I love CMC, but just kind of my running style. Love Mike Allstott. Peyton Hillis was a big guy for me too. So it's just guys that run hard and with relentless effort. Look up to those guys for sure.
I love it, man. I'm a little older than you. I'm 36, so I grew up watching Mike Allstott, and this
There you
guy
go.
was amazing. He was amazing. He's a big guy who was elusive, who had quick feet, good hands, and he could run right over people. And we see that right in your game. Who put you on to Mike Allstott? I know it was a little bit before your time. Who put you on to him?
It was my dad, and a funny little story about that. He taught me you got three guys around you, you're playing football. He taught me at a young age. Three guys around you, nowhere to go. You pick the biggest one and you run them over. So just kind of been my mentality since the beginning. But that's just kind of fun.
I love it, man. And then you got good hands as well too. We can't just forget about that, man. You got some hands of gold there, man. What are some things that have went into your game to help you to be a good receiver as well?
I think just the connection with the quarterback, Aiden Bauman, we spent a lot of time together, and he was a great check down quarterback. Always found the back whenever he was in trouble. So I had great opportunities, and then just spending time in the off season, getting my hands right and running routes with him.
Love it, man. Love it. Now, I love that division, man. College football, you guys are in MVSC. Hopefully, I said that correctly.
Missouri
Um,
Valley, yeah.
MVFC, yeah, man. It's some great football, man. You got some really good teams, and I'll be honest with you, it's one of my favorite divisions in football. That probably within the last like 3 years, I had a buddy of mine who used to play for Montana, and I know that's a different division, but he mentioned about taking and playing in South Dakota, and he mentioned he's like, man, I hate those guys, man. So he told me how loud the fans are and stuff like that, and I got to ask you, man, what are some misconceptions of you, a football player coming out of South Dakota?
I don't know much about local high school South Dakota play, but I will say playing at the University of South Dakota's been awesome. We have a dome, so although there's not a ton of people there, it's always
Mhm.
super loud. The environment's great. And then in the Missouri Valley, it's just one of the best conferences in the FCS, and it's just hard nosed physical football, and usually the most physical team wins. So we really strive to be the most physical team in the last 2 years, and that took us a long way.
Love it, man. And for those who don't know, what is, in your opinion, which team do you dislike with all your heart, or maybe even hate the most?
Well, our rival is South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, and we've had a few good games against them over the years. So I'd have to say that for sure. But playing in the Valley, NDSU definitely comes to mind too.
Yeah.
So, but good, great teams, great programs. They're fun to play over the years.
Love it, man. I love it. Growing up, man, you say you've been playing since third grade, I believe it was, and you pretty
Yep.
much always been a running back. Was there a specific moment in your childhood when you realized, like, man, one day I want to do this professionally? I want to be in the NFL. What was that moment for you?
So played running back until actually high school. My freshman year, I was a running back, and the quarterback
Yeah.
got hurt, so I ended up playing varsity quarterback for most of the season too. Then
Ooh.
running back sophomore and junior year, and I actually played quarterback my senior year, but it was like run first offense. We only threw about 4 or 5 times a game, but that was a good experience just to learn more about the game. I'd say growing up, I loved football, but I also loved playing other sports. I was a three-sport athlete. I played basketball and baseball as well, and for the longest time, I wanted to be a baseball player until it was about my sophomore year and we won a state title and I had a big impact on the game and just getting to know that team. It was one of my favorite teams to play with, all those guys. I think that's when I decided, hey, I want to play college football and I want to pursue the NFL. So
Love it, man. Love it. When you came out of high school, what were some of the offers outside of University of South Dakota?
all D2. The University of South Dakota was my only scholarship Division 1 offer.
Wow.
I had a lot of Division 2s, especially in Kansas. There's a lot of good D2s and around the
Hmm.
area. I had preferred walk-ons from KU and K State, but South Dakota was my best opportunity, and I'm very grateful to have chosen to go there.
Man, I love it. You definitely made the most of that opportunity, man. You've been balling since you put on that uniform over there, man. So that,
Appreciate it, man.
that's awesome, man. Now we had the NFL draft in a couple of months, man. So boom, here we are. You had a monster season. You could take your stats and divide them by two, and that still would have been good enough, man. You doubled what you double the workload, man. It's important to know you double the workload than what most running backs take and do. I watch a lot of college football. Sometimes my wife has to snatch me up, say, "Hey, let's watch some anime." I get snatched away. I watch so much college football, man. So seeing you, man, and you have a rare running style. I want to highlight that, man. When I place this final edit, I'll have your highlights playing on the screen. But man, who taught you to run that way, man? As even Mike Allstott, I don't know if he ran like that. Like you run really aggressively, man. I love it. Like, do you
I mean, I
any
tried a
mentors
little
help you?
bit.
Or?
It was my dad from the beginning, and it's interesting because he played quarterback in high school, didn't play in college, and he was a small guy, 140 pound senior. So
Wow.
I don't know what it was, but just doing it for the guys around me really is what makes the most of it, and just being
Yeah.
a relentless player.
Love it, man. I love it. With the NFL draft a couple months away from now, man. Where are you currently training at? And will you be heading to any bowl games at all? Or?
Yeah, I'm living in Minneapolis right now. I'm training at Tria Game Face. Deventry Jordan's the main trainer here, and I'm in day 4 right now, and it's been awesome. I love it. It's a great group of guys. They got a great staff here, great medical staff as well, and I'm really looking forward to the 60 days I get to spend here. But I'm also going to the College Gridiron Showcase this weekend
Ooh.
to
Okay.
participate in a bowl. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, that's awesome, man. A lot of big names come out of there, man. So taking ball out. How many days are you going to be down there?
Leaving Thursday, it starts on Friday and ends on Sunday, so I'll be back ready to train here on Monday.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, man, I can't wait to take and follow that story. Also, for everybody who's watching this interview, I'll have all social media stuff down below. So be sure to give them a follow. Get inspired because I know I certainly most am. Um, man, next question here, man. What are some once you're selected by an NFL team, whether it be day two, day three, day one, UDFA, wherever you may take and fall, man. What are some of your goals year one in the NFL?
I'm not sure yet. I love football and I want to play as long as I
Yeah,
can. I know that any team that does get me, they're going to get a leader and a guy that loves football and a guy that loves to be in the locker room, a great culture guy. And that's one thing that I'm not ready to give up. And I want to be in a locker room and I want to hang out with the guys that have a shared goal and that also love football. So
love it, man. That's awesome, man. Growing up, you mentioned you're from Southern Kansas. Did you have a favorite team growing up at all, or?
it's always been the Kansas City Chiefs just because that was the closest team to us. And
Yeah.
we like the Kansas City Royals too. So.
Okay. Nice, man. I love it. I love it, man. Who were some people that you mentioned your dad, so I can imagine he's in this for this answer. But were there other people outside your dad who helped for you to get to where you are today that were really, really pivotal in your development as a player?
Oh, of course. I have a great support system, a great family. Both my parents, they drive 7 hours every week during the year just to come watch me play. I got four siblings that always come and watch me play, and there's a great support system. But also, I'm one of the few players in college football that can say they had the same position coach and head coach all 6 years of their career.
Wow.
So I'm very blessed to have Coach Nielsen, the head coach, and Coach Warren at the University of South Dakota. They really spent a lot of time developing me and making me into the man I am today.
Dude, that's massive, man. Thank you for sharing that. A lot of times, and you and I have probably seen this on TV before, where a young man, he comes from across the country, he comes from Florida to University of Kentucky or wherever it may be, and they made all these promises, and he's like, oh, hey, you know what, I took another job elsewhere, and it's like, you're here to help me become a man, and all these different things, man. So it's really crazy, especially with the transfer portal, which, hey, people got to make decisions. Nothing wrong with that, but it's tough. There's a lot of carouseling going on, so it's great to have a coach like yours who's been able to pour into you and instill a lot of leadership qualities, which obviously take and show, man. That's pretty cool and
Truly
stuff.
blessed for that.
Absolutely, man. I mentioned Isaiah Pacheco, man. You're a Chiefs fan. Do you see any similarities in your game, man? Because y'all run, it's almost identical, man. The way you run and he runs, I'm like, oh, this guy taped some butcher knives to his elbows, man. I don't I don't want to run into this guy. And you run really aggressively, man. Is he a guy that you've modeled your game after a little bit too? Or?
Oh, I love watching Pacheco play. You can just tell, even when there's nobody around, he's ready for someone to show up and give him his best shot. So just the
Yeah.
relentless effort and just the extra effort too is just something I admire about him.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. How would you say you mentally and physically prepare yourself each day on game day? Do you have any things that you do pregame at all, or?
I don't do anything in particular pregame. Just being a leader on the team and being around all the guys and knowing that they're counting on you and that you're counting on them. You know you're gonna go out there and put your best on display. So it's pretty easy.
Love it, man. Anything that do you have like a chip on your shoulder or anything like that? Anything that's keeping you hungry and motivated, or?
Of course, I feel like I've been overlooked my entire life. So I play football with a chip on my shoulder. I'm going into this draft process with a chip on my shoulder, this training process. And whenever we get to camp, I'll definitely have a chip on my shoulder. And I'm sure a bunch of other guys will too. So
Want to take and ask you, man, how has this last season changed you? What have you learned about yourself as a person? I mean, you had a monster year. Like, you had good stats the other years, but you had a monster year, man. How has this changed you, impacted you personally?
I mean, I can't take credit for the year I had just because of how much work we put in as a team and how much better we got as a team. And just, it was a complete team effort. And the coaches
Mhm.
put us in a great position as players. So, full team effort to do what we did this year. And I'm just very grateful for that.
Love it, man. Now, oftentimes when someone gets a new coach, there's a whole new system. When it comes to like player development, what are some things that NFL? It's important for NFL teams to know about you that will assist you in your development and learning a new playbook.
Sure. I think my head coach can vouch for me in saying that I'm one of the fastest learners he's ever had. You tell me
Yeah,
one thing and I'm going to get it done the first time. So that's one of the things that I'll sell myself on. And I think that's important.
love it, man. Do you got a favorite scheme at all by any chance?
I don't have a favorite scheme. I know that I used to love gap runs, power, duo, counter, but we ran a lot of outside zone this year and I fell in love with it
Yeah,
because we were outside zoning teams to death. So I'm a big outside zone fan now.
I love it, man. Well, man, you partially answered the next question I have. If you had three plays, my man, you were going to toke that rock and take it to the house, or at least get a whole lot of yards. If you had three plays to choose from that benefit you, like you're going to get the ball, man, what would those three plays be?
I'll start with duo. Power with no puller. It's
Okay.
downhill, trying to get the linebackers to suck in. You can spray it or you can keep it downhill, and I'm really good downhill, I feel like. But I got a lot better at outside zone, like I said, and it became one of my favorites. So that's probably my second. But then I
Mhm.
love just good old fashioned GY counter, just letting it play out in front of you, seeing it click off, then making a decision.
Love it, man. Oh, what kind of relationship do you have with the O line, man? Because your O line, man, shout out to them. Like your success is also their success too. And hey, the Fat Boys need some credit too, man. What's your relationship with the University of South Dakota O lineman?
I mean, we're like brothers. It's a band of brothers. I'd say definitely towards the end of the season, I was hanging out at the facility as much as I could, hanging
Mhm.
out with those guys as much as I could because I knew how much I was going to miss them.
Yeah,
I love those guys. Like I said, they're truly like brothers to me. We take care of each other, and I know they have my back at any time in life, and I'd have theirs too.
love it, man. Do you got a favorite moment at all by any chance while you were at South Dakota?
I mean, we had some great moments, man. I don't know if I can pick one. Uh, the Hail Mary against SDSU comes to mind. I don't know if you've seen that play,
I
but
saw that one. I definitely did.
that was
That's
pretty
awesome. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Yeah, it seems a lot of there's you know obviously like you go to like Alabama and the whole city is coming out, but obviously it's a smaller base out there in South Dakota, but they're loyal and they will show up. I mean, every player I've ever interviewed from this division has always, they told me like, hey, they will show up. Like this is the team that they love. Any specific interactions that are memorable to you as far as dealing with fans from South Dakota?
Not any specific interactions, but I will say the fan support is great. Like you said, there's not a ton of them, but you go into a game thinking you'll die for your teammates. I mean, the fans are out there feeling the same way. They'll die for the team. So it's a good experience. It's a great place to play college football.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, a couple years ago, I interviewed Tyler Huseman, play for North Dakota,
Yeah.
and some of the stories that he would tell me even after the interview had aired, just him and I offline chopping it up. And he's a heck of a running back. He had a brief stint with the Chargers, but yeah, I mean it's that division gets wild. Like almost all the teams. It's very very cool. Now you had an amazing college football career, man. Finished the year with the bang. Unfortunately, didn't come up with the victory with Montana State, but man, that's not to overlook your success as a player. You know what I mean? All the stuff that literally putting the team on your back. You are responsible for victory after victory. That being said, man, what's something you want NFL scouts, NFL teams to know about you that perhaps they may not know already about you?
I mean, I feel like they know this, but I'm a guy that's going to leave it on the field every chance he gets. I get an opportunity, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to give my best out there every opportunity that I get.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Travis Theis, and I got the right pronunciation right. Man, I appreciate you, man. You got a lot on your schedule right now, man. You got a big event coming up. You're training for the NFL draft. There's so much going on, dude. And any NFL team that takes and gets you, man, even if they have a full backfield already, I don't care if it's the Detroit Lions, and in my opinion, they got the best backfield in the NFL. You're gonna ball out. You have so much to take and contribute as a player, man. So from a blocker to a backfield receiver, to also as well a running back who can literally, it's 4th and 3, you can get that first down, man. With your running style, your speed, your strength, you have so much to give. So I'm really excited to see what the next few months hold for you, man. Really appreciate you coming out, man.
I really appreciate you for having me on, man. It was a fun time.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.